Right, how's everybody doing today? Thank you for joining me again. I really do appreciate you. All right, so I'm going to do is continue where I left off from yesterday with the Lizard SuperTrend strategy. So what I'm going to do today is something quick, simple. Being that the strategy that we made yesterday, the trades were all over the place, and it's basically trading from the start of the day to the ending. That's something we don't want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to put um, trading hours within the strategy so they can only trade within certain hours of the market being open. That will eliminate these trades going crazy the way they are. Right. So yeah, we don't need that. So taking trades from around this area, you know, to whatever time you feel you would like to stop trading. But at least if you have that time added to the strategy, you won't have to worry. You can set it for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, as long as you want, and figure out what the best times are for you to trade based off the optimization of the time. All right, let's get to it. All right, first let me do this first. I would like to set up some advanced fields. So what I'm gonna do, see, I'm gonna bring this up and bring that up top since that's the quantity. All right, so I'm just gonna start off with, matter of fact, no, let's just leave that alone for now, being that we're adding other things. Once we add the other things, we can get the fields and get the numbers into it and get the category order correct. I'm jumping ahead. My OCD, I want to get that done, but we can do that later. All right, so we have to put time. Let's close this out. Not close it, but hide it. Let me show you another cool trick. Let me see. Add item before me. When you can't find it, just go to the search box and hit that. All right, so what we're looking for is the comment in code. What that does is it sets a blank box for you to put what you want to put in here. I use it to separate the strategies. It makes it easier on our eyes and easier to find things, especially when a strategy continues to grow and grow and grow and you add on to it. So this is what I'm going to use. All right, so that just lets me know that beneath this comment is the exits for the super trend that we use. All right, so I don't really have to keep that open. As long as I know I see that, I know exactly where it's at. So that hides it. Okay, so let's see what we got here. All right, so for the time, we're going to need to set a boolean to either true or false so we can add it to the main condition so it can know exactly when to trade and when not to trade. All right, so I'll make that a boolean. And I'm going to set that to true. I'm going to add it. All right. So I have to add another conditional box. I added before. Let's see. Let's just use if block. Not sure. May be able to use that. May have to expand it. But if not, let's just see what's going on with it. All right. So what I'm going to do is set this boolean so I set that before, and it's outside of the box, the conditional logic. It'll always be set, hence set. Right, so what we need to do is find price data. Right. So what we need to do is change this to conditions also with and or. We don't need to, so we can take one away. All right. So now we can find the price data. So as you can see, when you don't change this to a standard condition and you leave it as it is, it won't show certain things for you to be able to select to be able to make this condition work. It took me a little bit of time. Like I said, there's a learning curve. As you go along, trial and error, you will see exactly how things work and you'll get a hang of it. It took me a while to figure that out, but finally got it. But being that this is a simple point and click software, I didn't have to worry about learning any code. I just played with it and played with it like a video game till I got it right. Too easy. All right, so let's find that. Now, so what we're going to use is the bar end time of day. All right, so bar end time of day. Let's see. So we can actually do one or two things. I could have left that other and. Let me just add that after. So what we can do one or two things. We can use bar end time of day is greater than or equal to the start, and the bar end time of day is less than the end time. Or what we can do is make it simple. One thing I like about Quagensia is that you don't have to just use the less than, greater than, or equal to. So let's delete this. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. So instead of using the greater than, less than, and less than the end day, what we're going to use is bar end time of day is in between, including the two values entered. So that makes it easier. So you can add your start time and end time here. All right, so I got the set boolean. So let me just back up a little bit. Should have did this first. So what I'm going to do is not end, I apologize. Start, scroll down to advanced types, dates and times, time of day, too easy. Set in your default start time. Now it doesn't have to be 9:30. I just put 9:30 because that's the normal time the market, really starts moving. I mean, depending on the instrument you're using. I've seen some instruments do good at 7, started at 7 a.m. But I try to like to start at 9:30. Do what you feel, test things out, see whatever works for you. There is no set rule to it. It's just that there are professional traders that have been doing this for a while, and there's certain times that they do trade, and you just try to stick to the norm, to make things easier. But once again, test, try things, don't be scared. Another end time. All right, so we're just gonna make this, let's just say 3:30. Got that. All right, so I'm gonna shoot these up top to make those the first thing you see in the strategy. Right, so being that that's the first thing, now I can actually set this. And the reason why I put, well, let me erase that. The reason why I put 0, 1 because there may be more fields we want to put. So if you start with 0, 1, when you get to 0, 9, then you can go 2, 1, 2, 3, and then work your way down. But starting with 0, 1 actually gives you a little bit more leave room to be able to add more things without losing or not having enough numbers to use. I actually could have started out with 0, 0, 1, but I didn't want to do that. All right. So now we got that. When we save the strategy, when you pull up the strategy analyzer, it's going to be set with this being the first one. Until we set the rest, it's really going to be all over the place, but it's okay. All right, so we got the start and end time. We added the trading hour boolean and have that set to true. So if the trading hours, which will be true, are in between these times, that's when it will trade. So let's set this to the start and end. Voila. All right, so we got our set hours trade. The hours trading is set, so we don't have to worry about that. So the next thing we're going to have to do is create a condition. So what we're going to do is basically copy this to here. So what we're trying to do is make sure now that this is set, that these trading hours are set between these 2 hours. We want to make sure that there's no trading being done outside of these hours, and if there is, we can set a condition to stop it. All right, so what I'm going to do, make this simple. Let me see. Can I copy and paste? Yes, I can. All right, except for one thing. What I'm going to do is change this to excluding, no, is not in between, excluding the start times, because it's including these two. So I'm going to exclude those outside of these hours. So if the bar time is not in between the start and end time, we can then set the trading hours to false. Because now if we don't, this is going to stay set to true, and it's just not going to stop. So what we want to do is make sure that it's not true all the time. So once it's outside of these set trading hours, we want to make sure it's set to false, so it just only trades in between these hours. So let's just say we have another fail safe. It will stop trading. That's set to false if it's outside of these hours. And if it does, what we're going to do is close all the trades. I love using this because it gives you a whole bunch of things to look at, and it actually helps you learn a little bit more what Quagensia can actually do for you. All right, so what we're going to use is close strategy. All right, and set, just put end of day. This is what I use, or end of trading hours. Use the same thing on the chart. It'll let you know once it's live and it hits that time and it's outside of these hours. It'll post this on the chart, end of trading hours, and it will print it to the Ninja script output window. But this only happens in real time, so you won't see it when you're doing optimization on the strategy analyzer. But as you can see, close strategy. If strategy state is real time, it will cancel the working orders, close the positions, and completely disable the strategy. All right. So our next step is to pass it on to the trading conditions to make sure that it follows the trading hours. So now what I'm going to do, being that this is set to true, I'm just going to copy this, go here, add condition before me because I want it above the current market position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just set it for the whole box as opposed to setting it here and then saying true. It's already set. It's already set to true, as you can see. So if we just set it here like this, then that's what it's going to be. It's going to be true if it's in between these hours. Now, once it goes outside of these hours, it's no longer going to be set to true, and it's going to set it to false. If this is false, no trading will happen because all of these need to be true. So if this is false and these are true, it won't trade. As you can see, it says and. So trading hours are true, and the position is flat, and the current bar, the super trend, is greater than 0. So if the trading hours are false, then it won't trade at all. That's what I'm hoping it will do from this setup right here. We're going to see. All right, so I added that to the longs. Also going to add it to the shorts. All right, so we're going to see if this works out, people. All right, so let's save that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to the trades, because what I'm trying to do is concentrate on to see the entry time and the exit time. As you can see, they're still all over the place and crazy. Let's cross fingers. Let's see if this works out. All right, so from what I am seeing, the first entry on 7-1 was at 1022, and then it traded all the way until 3:30:52. So the last trade was at 3:25 and it ended at this time. After this trade ended and it closed, no other trade was entered. So it seems like we're on par. Let's go to the next one. All right, trading day, July 2nd. Okay, starts at 9:30:33, goes through all the way to 3:28, and this trade ends at 4. So what I have to do is figure out how to get that not to trade, like to not, excuse me, not to trade, but once it hits the 3:30 mark, it should close completely. Right, so let's see what we can do to work on that. Now I'm just going to play with it to see exactly what's going on. Hmm. Let's do this. Add item before me, submit an order, exit long, all positions, exit long, market order. I'm just gonna put EOD, end of day, and let's do another one after, exit shorts, all positions, market order, end of day. Now the reason why I'm doing this is specifically for the strategy purposes, being that the strategy won't close within a market, not the market, excuse me, and within the strategy analyzer, being that it's not real time and we're just testing, so it's not going to do that. So what I want to do is add these to make sure that if the trading hours are false and outside of these hours, that it closed the market's position. All right, let's see if that works. All right, it's 1022, 325, 30, 50, all right, 930. Let's see. All right. So as you can see, end of day. So it didn't go to 4 o'clock. So into that trade, which was before the 3:30, and the trade went on to 3:41. Now, the reason why it did go to 3:41 and not specifically 3:30 is because I am using Lizard wrinkle bars, and wrinkle bars don't deal with time. So you have to remember that. but it's doing exactly what I asked it to do as far as the condition is concerned outside of me using the wrinkle bars. So let's look at another one. 9:30. It's starting at that time specifically. It's after 9:30. Then it's not going before that. Let's see. 7:03. All right. So that ended. 9:31. That's after. All right. So that didn't go to the end time. 7:05. 9:30. See? End of day. 3:19. 3:44. But remember, we're using wrinkle bars, so it's not going to exactly catch the time. If we're using minute bars, it'd be good. But it's because we're using wrinkle, it's going to close a little bit later. All right, so we got 9:30. It's starting there at the right time. And 7:08. Once again, in the day hits. 9:30. Nope, this one ended at 3:30. But as you can see, the exits that I added, they're working. So it's not dragging the trade on. 3:36, it ended. I'm just going to scroll down to find the EODs. You don't see them, that's a good thing. That means they're trading within the hours. All right, 3:31, a little bit after, but in the day, it worked. 3:37, it worked. Now, if you're worried about, wow, we're still getting close to the 4 o'clock. What if I want to close by 4 o'clock? Let me do this, too easy. Let's see if that changed anything. Let's scroll down to see the exit name in the day, 3:05, 5 minutes after 3. So it's working. Session close 1, exit 1, session close at 1:41. Oh, holiday. Okay, I apologize. I was just looking at this exit on the end of session. It's on 7/3, and it's the day before the 4th of July, so the market more than likely closed early that day. All right. Of course, this is the 4th. It's going to still show trades even though the market was only open for a little bit on that day. So let's keep going. In the day, 3:14. A little bit after, but it still activated the exit to close. Remember, I'm using wrinkle bars. Okay, so that went to 346.59, 305 in the day. So it's letting you know that it's working. It's working. 309, 302, 309. So you get the gist. You see it's closing at that time. And as you can see, when it starts the new day, it starts at 9:30. So it is trading well in between the hours. And if you feel, especially if you're using wrinkle bars, if you feel that's not good enough, I'm still working on some things. I may see if I can add a secondary time series um, to the strategy specifically for time purposes to see if that will actually help the strategy close specifically at the time frame that's chosen for the end time. But like I said, I'm still learning, getting still getting things down myself. But just wanted to show you guys the ease of being able to add a time frame to the strategies without knowing code. Um, I'm gonna say this 50 million times. Quagensia is definitely a game changer. And I believe that anybody that doesn't know coding and wants to try to start learning how to create strategies, that they should go over to Quagensia, check it out, look at the videos, read up on it, and if you feel it's a good fit, go for it. I did. I got tired of not being able to know how to code. Not saying that I can't learn, I can, but I just wanted something simple, point, click, drop to create strategies, and this was it. So I'm very happy behind it. All right, let's go see, look at the chart. All right, see, none of the extra stuff on this end. Stopped at basically that time. It's only trading within the hours. See, 9 o'clock, 9:30, 9:30. So it's not trading outside of the hours at all, and that's exactly what we wanted. We didn't want a whole bunch of trades just going all over the place and trading all hours of the day. Now it doesn't necessarily have to be 9:30 to 3. It can be shorter than that. It can be a 2-hour window just to see exactly if you don't want to trade that much. All right. All right. One more thing I want to add before we go. All right, so we got that. Now, granted, I may come back and we may have another video to show if there's other things that I found out how to do regarding the time to make it better. Definitely will come back for that to revamp the video to show you the new update to be able to tweak the time. All right, so what I'm going to do is just I'm going to add the comment code to here above here with trading hours. All right, so what I'm going to do now is just hide that and hide that. See, now I know exactly what that is. Now I can place it after this, place one after this, and can put the main logic. Now it's all separated. Now I don't have to worry about trying to find and look up and down. I know exactly where it is. Alright, so one thing I'm going to add is I want to make sure that the long trades are being taken on a green bar and the short trades are being taken on a red bar. So what I'm going to do is add some price action. So in order apologize about that. Go back and take this off. Just want to show you guys chart. Alright, so what I want to do is to make sure all trades. Alright, so perfect example. You see how this trade tried to do a short when the previous bar wasn't red? So what I want to do is make sure that all trades are entered in on when it's a short, the bar is red, and when it's a long, the bar is green. I mean, sometimes you get trades like this where it's at the bottom and it's a long, but the previous bar was red. So now if I change it, it's going to change to here, and the trade is going to take up here. And this will probably be a loss depending on where the exit hits it at. Alright, so let me change that up so we can see exactly the change that can happen. Alright, so this is what we see right now. Let's run again. Alright, so we're at 27.2, 1.2, 10,000 max drawdown. Alright, so what I'm going to do for long is add the close of the current bar is greater than the open. Let me show you. Alright, so long happened. This is the open, this is where the bar opened, this is where the bar closed. So the close of the current bar is greater than the open, which you can see it is because it closed above the open of the bar for longs. And for the shorts, we want the close of the current bar to be less than the open. So the close is less than the open red bar. So that's what we're trying to accomplish here. Alright, so we got the current bar is greater than the open of the current bar. Too easy, let me copy that. Not gonna make it difficult. And paste. Then we gotta do is change this, less than. Too simple. Close of the current bar is less than the open. Let's see what kind of changes this creates in the strategy. Went away. So it did not take that short trade, just like we didn't want. Instead of creating that, that bad trade and losing out on that one, it converted to a good one. All right. So it did exactly what it was supposed to do. All right. That's almost an even trade. Came down, boom, boom. That's not too bad. All right. So now it's actually working the way it's supposed to work. All long trades are entered in on the green bar, red bar. It was a red bar when it entered, then it went to green. So it entered here after the red bar because the current bar, this was the current bar at the time. It was red, new open, took the trade, but the bar reversed, went the other way. Happens. It happens. But it is doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. My future goal is to figure out how to stay out of these. It looks like it's ranging just up and down, up and down, up and down, trying to figure out. Look like the bears and bulls are fighting. Then eventually the bears won. All right, so there you go. Added the time. It's in between the time frames. Stops trading. It closes out if it's still trading. And not only that, we added a better condition to make sure that the trades are being taken on the bars that they're supposed to be taking on. All right. So like I mentioned previously before, once I find out if there's better ways or different ways to do the time, of course, I'll create another video to update, show you guys the difference and how you can use either of the ones as long as they work. But Quagensia is a way where you can do different things in so many different ways and still have the same thing work out. But I would like to thank you guys again for joining me in this video. I really do appreciate you guys. You people have a blessed day. Thank you for joining, and I will see you soon. Take care.